Hey, Meghann, Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. And joining me now, it is Greg Moran. Now, before we get to talking about Hug, I have to ask, how has it been back to work? You're, of course, a hairdresser.
It's one word I could use, very busy. Two words. Yeah, I've just been, it's been constant. It's great though as well, to be honest,
Wonderful.
people are so happy to see me.
No, it has. It's been great. And you know what? I noticed when I'm walking around the city, you can spot who's had their hair done.
Yeah, exactly. You can see, I noticed it yesterday myself, actually. A lady coming out of the salon, the happiness was just something else. It does mean a lot to people.
It really does, and it's such a wonderful feeling. I just even notice you can see and feel the energy around town.
Yeah, there's a bit of kind of hope now, isn't there? It's kind of a lighter energy, isn't there?
It is. That's absolutely wonderful. I think it's just great. Like, whoever thought that getting our hair cut and washed would bring such joy to our lives? And it's something we all miss so much.
I know, yeah, exactly. I think we've all felt a bit neglected there for a while.
Absolutely. Greg, of course, the reason we are talking, I do want to give a bit of a trigger warning to those who are watching and listening. We're talking about Hug, which is Healing Untold Grief Group. It's a suicide bereavement group. And first of all, can you tell us about your own involvement in Hug?
So yeah, basically I started with Hug back in November. It was a friend of me that told me about them. It was a peer support group for people who suffered loss by suicide. As I've suffered that kind of loss myself, she recommended that I kind of sign up with them, So I did, and we were meant to, pre-COVID, like we were meant to kind of meet up and have a night together and do some kind of training in person, but with COVID, everything went on Zoom. So we finally got it going anyway. There's a bit of kind of adjustments at the beginning, with getting used to Zoom and stuff like that, and just like everyone really, I suppose. But we spent since November till now, more or less, training with Hug, taking part, with the Hug group, and just learning to facilitate this group. So yeah,
I think it's a wonderful organization, and so it's great to get people together, because you mentioned there, people who are bereaved and have lost people through suicide. It's something that's hugely affects so many people in Limerick alone, of course, and all around the country. And it's great to be able to have people who've been through it in similar circumstances, because grief does come in many shapes and forms. And I just think it's very important that the groups such as Hug, for those of you who've been affected by suicide, it's very important for you people to be able to come together, and for all of us to be able to come together to talk about our family and our friends. And I know, as you said, you've been hit very close to home with death by suicide, and as I said, we do know so many people, and I'd say so many people right now need this group.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? We've only just started off, and as it wasn't, completely advertised, we just had one member so far, and this particular member, she has, just been isolated and being at home by themselves. It's that's been one of the main challenges as well for people, this isolation, and especially with loss and this traumatic loss. On top of that, having nobody to turn to. It's really a vital valued support. People really do benefit from just a couple of hours and being able to express what's going on to them. That's a huge part of their healing. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think as well that the socialization aspect of it is very important, as you said, to meet other people, because there's one thing I've learned over the years, is that how lonely grief is. And then grief then during a pandemic, it's so hard to describe to people the loneliness of it. And as you mentioned, that lady there on her own, and that's what everyone I think feels when they are grieving, is they feel completely alone. So to have people who've been through this as well, and to be able to support and share stories and chat and just kind of make friends as well, that's a huge aspect to it.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head there, Meghann. This group that we've been a part of since November, we all fell in love with each other, we have made such a great connection. I can't emphasize that enough, actually. And which, I found that kind of strange, because it's been on Zoom, Zoom I found is a bit of a disconnect in some ways, whereas this, I don't know, because we're sharing our deepest, sometimes you'd share more with these people that you would with your own relatives or your own loved ones, So there is a real great connection there. And it's not only that, I mean, people think with Hug that we're sitting around crying all the time. There is every kind of emotion being expressed there. Like we're laughing, we're crying, it's everything. And, the connection is just something else. So there's great friendship. Like, yeah.
And I think that's really important that even you mentioned it's not just sitting around crying and being sad all the time. It is about having a bit of crack as well, and being able to bounce off
Yeah.
each other and do things
Yeah.
together then probably outside the group afterwards.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, one of the key things that I found with this group, like to be honest, before I wasn't really a massive fan of kind of group stuff, but one of the things I found with it is just normalizing everything that you're experiencing. That was like such a huge part of my own journey. Just everything that you're experiencing, grief, all that kind of craziness, the emotions all over the place. You can express all that and you normalize it, and that's where the connection is, like, there's just a great acceptance of everyone there. No one's judging anyone. No one is trying to fix anyone. Everyone just accepts each other, which is fantastic.
It does. It sounds like a lovely community as well for people. I think for anyone new that wants to get involved, I know that there is another peer group happening on the 18th of May, and I think this is something very special, especially now as we're coming out of lockdown. We're allowed to get out and about again, and I think it's really important for people to get back into society. And what better way than with a group of people such as yourselves in Hug?
Yeah, exactly. It really does bring people together, like, and it's the timing, as you said, is really good. Like, just to kind of help to kind of reintegrate and kind of help us kind of be with each other again. All this isolation, we need to actually. The name is kind of ironic, isn't it? I mean, hug. We need to all give each other a hug again, and just kind of learn from this and support each other.
Absolutely. Of course, for more information on Hug and the event on May 18th, it's hugg.ie. So it's Healing Untold Grief Group, which I think is lovely. And as you mentioned there, Hug is such a nice word as well, because that is something we all need. And just a reminder, it's hugg.ie.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. And you can contact them, and you basically just you'll fill out a form if you want to be a member. You can contact them directly online. That's it. Like, and it's free service. It's and there's no time frame with it as well. It's not like counseling either. Like, where you might only get 6 sessions or something, and they might say to you, you're too early in your grief or something like that. You can come at any stage. We don't have any issues around that. Or
Absolutely incredible. Greg, thanks so much for chatting to us in Limerick Post. I better let you get back into the salon now, because I'm sure you've got some eager clients who are ready now to get the dye and the haircuts and whatnot.
No worries. Thanks a million, Meghann, for having me on your show. Okay.
Thank you.